did, or you can get the perfect position, get yourself on roofs, fantastic cover from all sorts of sides. That's going to depend on the moment, and well, once we get to it, the drop is completely different this time around. A lot of teams dropping as well, top right. They're going to be supporting me.
They're gonna be going to your drop spot, of course. But
Yay.
of course, yay, we get some familiar. But we're gonna of course see a load of people drop at school, drop at boatyard, Pachinki, definitely some common hot drop areas. I'm trying to see a few teams will try and go south, and maybe a couple will want to go to the ferry ports or Promisco. That's also another area. You could see maybe one or two go to that military island, play the risk onto that very south side. But just going off the theme and the way I've seen things go, 9 out of 10, this zone will be more a much more nicer and play central, maybe with a river in the middle.
Just maybe. AMW here, gonna have a first early look at them. Now, like earlier, imagine since 55 Esports had such a fantastic performance, once teams do actually find out about their position, it could be putting a bit of a target on their back for others to try and take them out so they don't get too large of a lead going into map number 2 like they did in the prior. We're gonna have to let time tell, as currently everyone's just nicely and calmly preparing to see where they can find themselves in.
Yeah, AMW got themselves 1 point in this entire series so far. The one kill that is keeping them off the bottom, so they're looking to switch things up. Of course, being match 2, it is, you know, we start to see teams do a bit better. They've learned, they understand the scenario and the environment that they're playing in, so they can prepare in better ways. They can plan to counter accordingly. So that is critical, but more critically, again, where is this zone landing? Because I believe this is a very eastern position that AWM have put themselves in. They're halfway away from zone, so I feel we have gone west this time.
Just a bit. We'll have to see. Still trying to keep our eyes on to Hafen here. The Eucalyptus, or Eucalypto, earlier did have a bit of a bad fate on the battlefield. I can remember he was also a victim of a drive-by, if I do remember so correctly. A second one, not the first one, that brought down 2 players. And the zone here seems to be a lot more centered and a lot more focused, pivoting towards those major points of area.
You still got this 50-50 that comes in through the water. That river is going to create a little bit of chaos. So we see this team in red, SAG, AMW, to go and possibly take up this northern position. We're going to see a lot of players try and play by this coast. Meanwhile, the rest that are on the southern part of the island, they're going to take this risk. They're going to try and centralize themselves, but 9 times out of 10, they know that just from this positioning and the percentage chance, it's probably going to go south. However, the Albanian squad above the Eagles, they're looking at this northern point. They're going to try and get to this road just on this southern part of the northern riverbank. And they want to capitalize on that position, because if there has to be any crosses, if this zone does go north, they could take advantage. They can really start to pressure and chokehold anybody that comes through.
A bit of a crash here. Seems like Hisense is having difficulties with driving around, but seems like they found their stoppage now. Like you mentioned, a lot of teams. Yes.
I feel like that's like my driving on PUBG. It's absolutely terrible. And
okay. Okay. Thank God you didn't say in real life. I was a bit. Saying in PUBG really did make it a bit better.
I bent my car 5 times in a ditch. You know what? There's probably drivers out there who do drive the same way people do in PUBG.
Yeah, probably. Just like this. I mean, Ingsec comes in, a bit of bumper cars in between each other just to put in some extra effort. But this is Team Mira. Earlier thought to be a very good and very very threatening team, now being in a very early, probably the first actual team fight we get to see, and 3 of them have already faced difficulties. That's a lot to lose here for Team Mira. Maestro's also having a bit of a bout with Dragons in the meanwhile, and Nextway here with a very good beginning.
This is a huge start. Of course, Mira and Ineox know each other well. They scrim against each other so often, again, in those North American and South American servers that they play in. And I tell you what, they're coming out guns blazing. And when they see each other, it's that look of, hey, we know your strategy. We know how to do this. And in doing so, Mira, this time, taken out early. Ineox staying for the later game.
Oh, the high grounds from 1453 is definitely remarkable. They've taken it as fast as they could. They're looking for opportunities. They have the gun to fit, so some could say. But what I do wonder is once the zone is going to be forcing them off of it, how comfortable and how quick will they be able to move away?
Well, if we cast our minds back to 2018, it was the final map of the grand finals of the final day of the PUBG Global Summit in London. Many teams had to fight on this mountain. Many teams did have to play off it, and 9 times out of 10, the best strategy to get up here is to play it silent, is to run your way across. And the same way of getting down, slowly run your way down, because there's a lot of crevices, there's a lot of ridges that you could hide inside. So realistically, this Turkish squad are happy. They're going to be happy with this position and say thank you. We've got the height here, and we can play off it better than you can.
Reaping off of their own benefits. They got up here first, and, well, first one to come around, that's the one to be served. 1453 again, taking it along. They have the scopes as well to back it up, of course. You probably wouldn't be coming up here with a shotgun or an SMG of the sorts to try and take long-range battles. You'd be looking pretty dumb if you did, but nope, they don't show to be so. And right now, they're just going to be sitting comfortably on the mountainside.
You'd be surprised about number of lower level teams such as this event. Of course, as a reminder for everybody here, this is a community based event, so we're looking at roughly tier 2 and below level teams. You'd be surprised the number of people who would probably bring a shotgun or a Panzer up to the top of that mountain and go for it.
What do you do when you reach the top? You just think to yourself, huh, I got a Panzerfaust and a shotgun, what now?
Just wait for a car to come by, and you just fire away, bombs away. Or, oh no, even better, mortar. Bring a mortar on top of that. You screwed everyone else up there.
Clearly the best idea when going on to the mountain. Bring a mortar.
You need one of those tactical kits and just stuff the mortar in there. Or, no, you could carry a mortar on your backpack, but you would lose so much utility.
Yes,
so
yes.
You won't see any of these crazy strategies that we're suggesting. But the thing about this lower level teams is going off meta sometimes is the way to really get some upsets. And again, when I was doing some work with some of the pros, we had a few tier 4 teams in the same lobby for their scrims, and they were one team. I'm trying to remember the name of the team, but they came up, and I think we counted 15 Panzerfausts that were used by them alone in the entire 6 maps that we saw.
That is dedication.
They did take out a tier 1 team. And talking about taking it out, Mangoes. That's a free kill indeed.
That it is. Just dropping one. They tried to drive quickly, and that's where they ended up going a bit too fast for themselves. Mango's there with the opening kill. Not a single player to be lost. Not a lot of players were lost in the beginning, and not just yet, but as phase 1 is slowly closing down here, I mean, a lot of people are starting to set into these comfortable zones to just nicely wait for others to arrive.
This is also another thing as well. Look at you have to remember about the water and the river that was there. We're seeing Mangoes play in that bridge camp. They're playing themselves in a position where you're not allowing anybody to go and push through. And the Phoenix took the most damage. They definitely took the biggest hit. And now they're clown carning. They're in a clown car. What? Oh, my brain. I've been subjected to too much professional work that this hurts my brain.
It's too high leveled for us too clearly.
Oh, that zone even kills us more. Still a 50-50 in play, but I said how that would go south. I will take that all back. No, PUBG wanting to keep everybody on edge, keep everybody nearby the beautiful river, which, thank you, observers. Look how beautiful that is. Just keeping everybody on edge, and in doing so, we saw Blancos have this advantage on that upper side of the river.
I mean, my goodness, it would have been interesting to see. I feel like the fight is going to be a lot more prolonged this time around, especially when we get around to it. But I do believe that we have another code ready for you guys, if I am correct. I think we do. Hopefully we do.
We do.
Because
we do.
We do.
We do. And
we do.
It's blue. It's blue. It's called Zone Control, of course. Remember, go inside of the giveaway. Remember, 2,000 in-game currency. Get yourself in there. Go and log in. Do what you need to. Find the code. Put in Zone Control. Boom. Another 50 to get there.
Yeah. Like you said, Zone Control. How do you spell it out? ZONECONTROL. Put it in. The giveaway link. All in chat. You can get it for yourself. Swoop away a possible prize, and of course, there's no minus in it. It's free. You just need to participate. Stick around for the stream for more possible codes, and of course, be fast on your feet.
Talking about being fast, we're seeing those rotations coming along, and talking of rotations, 31 pushing up to Ineox's compound, and well, someone poked the Hornet's nest, and the bullets start flying, and 31 goes, okay, we are not going to fight this. You take.
Let's see it. 31 here. It's like making a bit of a surround town. When it comes to being extremely close to yet another confrontation. Now, earlier, they went into quite a brutal team fight between many. It didn't end up working for them the best, and also trying to multitask, leaving Jesus to take the wheel, and you yourself scoping out of the gun and trying to have a bit of a shootout.
You don't know how often that happens. You just free will, ghost the whip, and just go, there's something out there, let's go for it. But nonetheless, 31 Gaming, they found themselves a cute little compound and able to anchor themselves in. Meanwhile, A&W, again, playing on that northern side, so did 55 Esports, which is, as we remind you, 55 Esports, they are leading. They got that first chicken dinner with 12 kills, but this time round, a lot quieter. But they're up against, as I mentioned, AMW, who is sitting 13th, only 1 kill to their name.
Not the best. 55 shots being taken at you. Sam here trying to evade them as much as possible. You really want to keep all 4 players alive. We saw how well that ended up working when it came down to the final moments of the first map. Now, looking to repeat the same with less kills currently, but saving themselves for the final few zones.
Yeah, the 55 are realizing that if they get a bit more central, they can take advantage as the zone moves in. And 55 rotated perfectly. They're going to have to makeshift their anchor point because there is not a lot of buildings anymore. I'm counting here 1, 2, edge of 3, possibly 4 buildings that they could play off. So this is going to be natural hill play we're seeing.
Absolutely. 55 sitting back. Again, everyone just gaining the positions they currently want to hold for a bit. Then at some point going to have to move. But as it currently stands, nicely sitting back. We're waiting for everything to strike. Comparing the player count to what we saw earlier in the first 15 minutes is definitely a bit higher. 15 teams still, which means in the following 5 minutes, I'd consider there's going to be some bloodshed.
But try in the next minute. A lot of teams are going to have to rotate from the southern bank to the northern bank because on phase 4, zone will move away from water. It will try and make sure everything is inland. So everybody south, they're screwed. And this is why we are seeing a few players like Andy right here. They're sitting and waiting, but that is not a drop you want to see as AMW is starting to light things up in the sky, peppered with bullets.
Oh, riddling them down with every single piece of lead. There's another one. Hot 90 is getting just driven over. Chewy poorly gonna be taking a personal view with that wheel as another one simulate not being able to last much longer. Selfish is the one to take him out, finalize the job. As in the meanwhile, Affen here, still healthy, trying to take some shots at Rush themselves, but not being able to connect them.
Yeah, but you have to remember, Full Rush just literally full rushed in with their emergency drop, so they have now got to quickly prep themselves, get themselves into a position where they can fight back this AMW squad. And I tell you what, they're not afraid, AMW, to go for a couple of fights, but AMW, they're being peppered by the mangoes as well in the distance, which is not going to help this situation, because now AMW pushes forward and creates the third party.
There it is. They've caught the attention of the one they've been constantly shooting, while in the meanwhile 31 will be eliminated thanks to We Are Ready. Now they finally are. AMW do get a kill off one of their own, but now they're being persuaded by the side of Full Rush. It's an exchange 1-for-1, but there's still 3 players ready to back up. All the angles certainly are not the most ideal. You try to make most of what you can. Right now, Afton, there's 1 player already down. 3 more still remain to be victims of 55.
It could be a danger, but Full Rush is really making sure that they push back, claim that full control, and brilliant work, because we thought that AMW had that position locked. We thought that everything was all good, and just to make matters worse, Full Rush, that push has helped them entirely, as they have full control of that plane crash area, and I don't even know the RNG that Full Rush has on their side right now.
Here it comes, AMW trying to save and really resurrect whatever they have remaining, going for a bit of revives on the way. Right now, Full Rush, they're not going to be backing up so easily, although can't believe it's going to be dropped yet again. That's Brado on the job. All of a sudden, a couple of nades, utility being used to make the most of it. Now, as of current, there's damage that's been dealt, but 55 are going to be delivering the most of it as they get themselves a fantastic elimination onto 1453, but that nade finishing, can't believe, and this is an all-out war.
It is an all-out war, and Full Rush know they have to get rid of AMW now just for their security at this point. They've lost Can't Believe, but they also know they have taken away one of the AMW members. So it's a 3v3 fight in their knowledge, but the question is where? Because slowly we're also seeing more teams creep around this area. I'm counting. That is, I think, We Are Ready on the outside. I'm seeing a yellow squad also starting to push in. It looks to be I think it's the Eagles starting to push in. Everybody is caving in, and AMW are being pinched all the way through.
They started this fight, but they sure as hell will not be the ones to finish it, although they're still giving it their best attempt. We do have one of the downs from Bradle. There's a finish shot to one of the players from Dragons, as 55 are also looking to finish what they started themselves, but We Are Ready coming out. That's one finish. A Full Rush joining in just to make sure it's going to be that much more pressure onto the wound. And there's 2 players, 3 for Full Rush, all still trying to survive since they're caught in the crossfire too, but the Hot 90s eliminated thanks to Balkan Eagles.
Yeah, another team going to the south side of Full Rush. It looks to be Delulu wanting to get involved as well. And they've started to capitalize on the 3 kills that could come through. AMW's not done with 2 kills as it's down to Hula to stay alive. Able to knock 2. Can't get the flushes as War is just sitting on the edge. But can this flush come through? Come on, buddy. You know you can get those 3 kills. He puts himself out in the open, and now Hula has to play patient. Has to play it right. Meanwhile, We Are Ready eliminated. Hula's done it, bringing 4 kills to their squad. Now we have the Dragons starting to push up as well.
Oh, certainly not the best. Full Rush, one of your players down here. Zetch and Job's going to need to be the only ones to stand against him. They get 1 from Delulu, the extra to below, and that's a double down. Looking for extra trouble. The final player of them trying to make sure that it isn't all for nada, but I don't think that's going to be as possible. Trying to finish the job, that's going to be one. A second one to be attempted, but you need to check your right as he's starting to close in to try and save his teammates, or maybe save his team from being fully eradicated.
Delulu running away, he's booking it, not getting involved, but you still sit here, you have to be questioned as Dragon Kiss has been eliminated by Mestro, so there wasn't Dragon Kiss next to them. I believe, is that the Pharynx? I'm not sure who is it. Yeah, it is the Pharynxes who have pushed in. And they're looking for any scraps, any opportunity to sneak away some kills. But it's happened once. Holu has been able to fend off an entire squad alone. But can he do it once again? That's the dream.
Let's talk reality here. Maestros have been having a bit of a bout themselves between themselves and Mangoes, who have been putting in the work to try and down them. A lot of red to be displayed on screen. More damage between the few, but Maestros eliminated for the Mangoes. Get rid of them once and for all. That's 5 kills. Great points, but 2 players to remain. I don't know how good is this going to be in the long run.
It's not going to help indeed, and you're going to have to carry your body. Yeah, that zone, and especially a phase 5 zone, will quickly eliminate everybody. But as it starts to creep in, look, there is some hills. There are some hills these guys can play off, and Hola is still trying to stay alive. Mad credit to Hula. I genuinely do not know what to say, but that is a huge comeback from the squad.
Ooh. Finally, after such a prolonged battle, AW have taken it away. Falcons as well taking a heavy blow to their player lineup. 55 with 6 kills already, and they haven't lost an arm. They haven't lost a leg. What have they lost? Absolutely nothing. They've been winning this entire time, and they're looking to continue doing so. While Full Rush shooting Dr. Who, that's 1 for them, and meanwhile, another contention as Balkan keep on catching strays and now eliminated as the number 6 spot team.
There's a bit of non-stop of action as this zone is just forcing players into each other. The Phoenixes are now going to have to face the force of Full Rush, who has been the survival kings of this situation, pressed by 4-5 different teams. And now they're going for yet another fight as that nade doesn't land where it needs to. But it's definitely doing damage as they are keeping the Pharynxes inside the zone.
Oh, that's a shot from Smiley that was not expected. Jobs gonna need to apply to some, because currently you're down on the ground, bleeding out. Soka taking a bit of damage from behind the tree line. Simon does finally put an end to him, but you still need to get your teammate up. And 2 are starting to approach you as we have gotten a killing spree.
Yeah, Iniox are going with the Fist of Fury. I said how them and Mirror train with each other often. Same with 31. They play within the similar servers, so no surprise. Iniox is going for blood. There are 11 kills, and the aggression is fruitful as they have a full squad. 55 have a full squad, but Full Rush, all this hard work could be taken away. All that fighting could be for nothing unless Iniox over-aggressors.
I mean, look at this. 4 players, 55. 4 players, Iniox. And this is where they're going to start looking to have more blood be spilled as Full Rush. That's 1 damage, 1 extra player to be taken off board. And each time that Iniox are getting greedy like this, that's where 55E have found themselves to thrive most.
Talking of 55E, look how spread out they are. They've got map control galore. They're making sure that there is no room for any of these teams to come through, as Andrew says thank you very much. Oh, Zek, who actually got those kills to actually pop off. Headshot comes in, Andrew drops to the floor, down to Selfish to keep the team alive. As Full Rush down to 1, and it's also down to Idiox with 1 player physically standing. What can happen here? As this is just handed yet 55 Esports another easy victory situation.
Oh, look at Psychog. He's right next to them. He takes the shots and Idiox eliminated. 4 against 1. It's a repeat of the previous map, and Delulu here is the final one to stand. The second he shoots his shot, they're all going to start crunching in on him, trying to take him out as fastly as they can, and I imagine the velocity just keeps on picking up for 55 Esports. As right now, while everyone was so distracted at taking out each other, 55 simply waited back and just struck when it was the weakest point for Iniox, taking out that 4-man factor, that fear that was needed, and finishing the job. We get it yet again. 55 Esports, fantastic kills. Idiox might have been the MVP, but they were not able to grab that #1 spot.
No, unfortunate indeed. They went for the aggressive fight against a strong team. They could have played patient, played...